Been a few days, but I've made a few changes to my raid fleet and I want to show how I've been doing level 500s for instant map repair with a U2 Flagship. Hey everyone, Derpy here, welcome back to another Battle Pirates video. I have made a few changes, and by the time this video is out, there will be another one about those changes to my flagship. I'm going to be going through an evade tank using a Sea Serpent's crew, although it's probably not going to matter, and get this target done for instant map repair. The 500 is actually pretty easy, all things considered. It does just have a few tricks to it and a path for it that you generally want to follow. Although as always, there are numerous ways of getting this target done, and I tend to hit it a little bit differently every time. Now it does matter where you come in from. I like to come in from the top right, just about 1 o'clock, and get this done pretty quickly. The first thing I do is go after these Kodiaks right here, just grab those, UAV them out. You can do it a few ways where you're actually chaining onto them from something else, but it's a little bit too much work and I don't think actually works out the best. You get another set right after, and the damage taken from these guys is actually pretty low, all things considered. I will follow them a little ways longer just to make sure that they die, like those first one just got away a little bit. I'm not too worried about that, should still be instant repair. Now, you can do a few things by using these ammo carriers to deliver UAVs to these turrets, but so much faster just to go right after them. We don't have too much time in the world to complete the target, and things do chain. You also can't use this gate to chain from the gate to the turret, even though the turret can go to the gate. It's a little confusing. Because the ship's there, I'm going to use it to deliver some ammo carrier swarms to these Kodiaks, which just came off the screen, that was lucky, as well as this turret right here. I don't want to do too much damage to this turret because I actually do want to target most of it on there myself, so I can chain onto everything around the left side of the target. So this ammo carrier might get some on there. I almost wish it didn't, but let's just scoot forward here if we don't kill that and shoot at everything else. Looks like the few things went down there, which is okay. As long as this Kodiak goes down, I'm set. If the turret doesn't get killed by those ammo carriers, you can sneak forward and shoot at it yourself. It's just a little bit of damage. Next up, we're going off to the right side of the target, and you can do this too earlier if you want, and we're just going to outrange this scattergun turret and shoot at the missile turret, chain onto that. You're going to take some damage from these targets, but with the 84% plus evade tank flagship, it shouldn't matter too much. So again, chaining from scattergun, missile, Kodiak, large scattergun, other Kodiak, things should die pretty easily. Next up, let's loop around the bottom of the target and trigger these heavy cruisers. Again, I have one ship at X1, so I actually get the maximum benefit from the debuffs. So even without Hyper 30, because I have refitted, I can run away here, kill all these ships, all these heavy cruisers, no damage, really easily as long as I'm paying attention. Next up, we're going to run back towards the inside of the target and use these ammo carriers moving south to chain onto this Executioner style turret. That should be just about right here in terms of the positioning. Chain off onto this guy, hope that most the UAVs leave around the center in range of this. If you do have a few ships that are up to U3 or higher, their chaining range is a little bit higher, although I believe my U2 ones do that fine as well. You also do get some damage off onto these heavy cruisers, which again doesn't matter because you can do those for free repair anyway. It just sometimes is nice and sometimes does help with the chaining throughout. Once this is dead, we're going to loop off to the bottom here and engage a few things. You want to make sure there's no ammo carriers coming at you from the north when you're doing this, otherwise it can mess a few things up. And also, kill this one here while you're at it, otherwise things will get messed up and you'll chain from this turret onto the ammo carrier and not actually kill all these Kodiaks, which can be a little frustrating. Alright, let's go get in range of this turret, shoot at it a few times, and that should be enough to chain onto all the Kodiaks. Hopefully these ammo carriers, again, don't mess things up. Okay, turret 2, onto these ones. At least 3 of those Kodiaks should go down, if not all 4. Again, if you're having trouble, you can kill the ammo carrier spawner up at the top here now, and kill a few more things off onto the right, but looks like I got 3 of those 4 Kodiaks down, which again, I'm not worried about. As I said, depending on the exact timings in these ammo carriers, you'll drive this target a little bit differently every single time. I'm going to stop here and try and use this ammo carrier to deliver UAVs to this next Kodiak, and just see if it's possible. If I can do that, I'm pretty sure that I can. Let's sneak a little bit closer here and just stay right behind this guy until right about now, get closer, a few shots, and that should be good. It shot at me, which is fine, not too worried about it. We'll just go in and finish that off, and that nothing else in the target moves based off that, that's fine. Now, the next step right here, you want to try and just use your ships, go pretty slowly, come in directly in the same line as this land, and you can just about outrange this corrosive turret while still outranging the penetrative turret as well if you do it pretty slowly here like that. You can also use this gate as long as you have X1 U3 ships, at least one of them, only use that one on the gate, and it will take out the turret as well. Now, this part is a little tricky. Notice that this spawner right here is going to spawn things, so it just did one. I'm going to wait till it does the other, and then move forward and target the ship and the building, hopefully the ship when it's out of the building's chaining range. That's because I want to go from the building to these ships, not from the building to the ammo carrier that pulls it out of the way. Again, that does happen a few times. These ammo carriers are your friends, but you sometimes can mess up. Alright, now we target the building, that the ship's out of the way, it's not going to mess things up, and that should destroy the building, but destroy these two Kodiaks at the same time. If it spawns an ammo carrier right now, I'll be a little bit disappointed. Alright, that's good. Let's go ahead and move forward here. We didn't quite get these, maybe one more crit was needed here. That's fine, just another little bit of damage I'll take. Run out of the way here once you're done shooting. Next up, head up to the right to trigger off these heavy cruisers. I haven't been able to effectively grab this turret here, not outrange it, but haven't been effectively able to grab the turret without triggering those ships. That's fine. Notice one Kodiak right here is going to run down the target. I should probably engage that now, otherwise it will start circling down in the bottom corner here, which is a little frustrating, and sometimes makes you pay out under 500k is what I think I've noticed. Once that's dead, or once it's about dead, head over to this missile turret. You're going to get shot by this one, no big deal. Just stop there before the scatter turret, shoot at this guy, chain onto the scatter. At that point, you have a corrosive turret left if you got unlucky on the chaining up on this area over here, which you can outrange, that's perfectly fine. Just go ahead and stop early, sneak forward, and that should be about right there. Perfect. And that again, outranges, dies easily. If things are left around, they'll chain to it. And then these two heavy cruisers move towards, pull them over the ice patch if you would like, although they're not, again, a threat regardless, which is perfectly fine by me. And those two are dead, and that should be the target, unless I've missed something. Looks like that was about it. Pretty good drive there, didn't take too long, less than about 6 minutes with the narration. Let's go ahead and check the damage and the battle report. Total damage is pretty misleading because I took no corrosive, that's fine, that's not misleading. But the evaded stat counts both evaded and countermeasured, and the taken and resisted is really just a rounding error, so I have a few complaints about this thing, that's fine. Focus on minimizing that resisted plus taken category in general, not just the taken. Both the resisted and the taken can count for comparing your runs to each other. So this is probably one of my best runs I've had, and let's go ahead and check the actual damage. 3 minutes and 32 seconds, not bad at all, instant map repair. Now, not every run of the 500 is instant map repair. You can see I have 50 million points, again, which is all me driving things, or autoing, I guess, and I have low repair on this guy. Most of them, the 500s with this build, are low. Once I figured out that path, when I was screwing around doing other things, they were a little higher, but 5 minutes is pretty common. Below that is pretty common too. Like I said, here's the build. I did change it around a little bit. Evade tank flagship build. Combat speed is reduced now from the Hyper 30 setup, but it does have 84% evade. Other ships are shown here. They have stripped Hyper 30, none of that here. And at this point, they're pretty standard builds. 4 total countermeasures. Your countermeasures need to have a countermeasure special associated with those. Alright, well hey, it's been a little bit into the raid. I figured I'd get this out anyway. I hadn't made a 500 target yet. With that said, going to go ahead and say thank you to everyone whose names appear on screen now. With that said, this has been Derpy, signing out, helping you be a better pirate.